Hey guys, so Selh'teus will be coming. So if you noticed, maybe some of you did, I actually re-recorded this video because, um, I did have info on Selh'teus regarding his DPS, his support, as in healing, revival, but I did not really have the number on exactly how good his support is. So the Thornberry Troop cell just released his infographic, and upon looking at those numbers, the auras, I increased his score slightly. So I redid this video because I would like to highlight certain things after looking at that. Okay, so let us talk about his BT. So Selh'teus, do you need his BT? Well, technically yes, I would say you do need his BT. Not need, you probably want his BT. That's because his BT grants him a golden debuff. So this golden debuff, it will disable the enemy. So it's an 8-turn golden debuff, which means the entire 8 turn, if the enemy will be taking any turn, they will not be able to attack. It's basically a stun. And not only that, it does a 1% poison damage based on the enemy's max HP. So if the enemy were to take all 8 turns, then 8% will be got flat. Alright? And Selh'teus, if you use this BT effect, then BT phase, so total you can actually get up to 16 turn of the debuff. They don't stack, so which means after the 8 turn is depleted, then you enter BT and then you will have another 8 turn on the enemies. But that is talking about a situation where the enemy takes so many turns and you kind of like I don't know, doing an off-turn, but at that point you probably want to bring an off-turn team. So I'm just giving a hypothetical explanation on it. It's probably not practical for you to actually pull it, but at least knowing that the stun, like, is stacked up to 8 turns, makes him pretty special, because like we have character like Fusoya that you need to use his LD or something to stack up the paralysis, but Selh'teus just used BT and then the enemy will not be able to move for 8 turns. And now with his BT, he covers DPS role as well, because it grants him a HP attack, and the HP attack does 11 AoE HP dump. So that is the same as Reno, but do note that Reno has a bit of issue if you try to cap on every single HP dumps. But Selh'teus, being like a support unit himself, is going to easily cap on his HP dumps. So that makes him a very strong DPS, probably the strongest AoE DPS we have right now, with a total of 22 HP dumps against 2 enemies. Primary support role, I would actually say that Selh'teus is actually a support unit. His DPS, as in top DPS, he does kind of fall a little bit off with a lot of newer units coming, but that is alright. I have been using him in level 3 crystal mission on the JP side. I have been using him a lot in a lot of coming fights, you know, for the next 2 to 3 months. He is still amazingly strong. So I would say that with his BT now, he covers a lot of role. He has a DPS unit, he can disable, he can heal, he can revive, he can support with crazy high auras. So he covers all the roles. You can consider him a jack of all trades, but he mastered in all of it. So unlike what we have previously, like Locke is like a jack of all trades as well, but he just does everything mediocrely. So Selh'teus is like the opposite of that. So he actually brings a lot to the party. So his kit, as I mentioned just now, DPS, support, revival, disable, healer. Yeah, he pretty much covers a lot of things. How to use Selh'teus? First of all, his FR is pretty generic for magic user, but if you want to use character like, let's say, Core or Wise, as him to support him, for him to deal more damage, then you might not want to use his FR as main, because those characters will not be able to fulfill Selh'teus magic condition. Okay, if you are using character like Anacro in order to boost his damage up as well, then it's better to use Anacro's BT because, Anacro's FR, because it has the additional 50% HP damage limit up, but Selh'teus doesn't have that. So for his setup, if you want to use an DPS, it's easy. You just have to use his BT, and then you just go to his BT phase and you just use HP plus. Alright, there is no rotation or anything. Basically, his HP plus is the strongest attack, so you should use it. But if you do not have his BT, you want to use him for aura, then obviously you will not enter his BT phase. So again, there's no need for any specific rotation. Yeah, so several things that I would like to mention, like with his disabling, he's actually very good with fights that having the boss warping. So if the boss is going to warp in front, they will be disabled. If the boss is going to take consecutive turn, they will be disabled for that number of consecutive turns that they will be taking. If it's 3, then they will be disabled for 3. So nobody have like outright straight 8-turn disabling. Okay, if you like have Cloud, that's just 1 turn. So if enemy going to take consecutive turn, they will not be able to stop them for all 3 turns. Alright, so Fusoya can do that. You can stack it up. We also have like Ear Nudge that can terror and basically stop the enemy for a number of turns. Or you have like Pain, slowly stacking up and preventing the enemy from doing HP attack. But none does it like how Selh'teus do it. Okay, you just have to use BT. You don't have to stack it up. You don't have to wait. Then, yeah, they are stunned for the entire 8 turns. And with the amount of damage that Selh'teus do, you probably will never finish all 8 turns. So I mean, there are arguments that says that, you know, if you are going to destroy the enemy within 1 BT phase, you don't need the 8. You know, you don't need the disabling. So, but to me, like that is a bonus. Like, why are we underrating Selh'teus just because he have additional thing that may not always be useful, but if it's useful, it is really, really useful. So for me, I would say that is bonus. It makes him so good that he is versatile and flexible. You can put him in any team, you can put him in any fight, and he will be useful. He will contribute to your party. So yeah, I really which is why I adjusted my score, because originally I gave him an 8.5. But after looking at that, it's like, why am I discounting his strength just because I don't use it all the time? But there's a possibility that it can be used in so many situations. So, I mean, coming into that, on his aura, if you look at it, he have like 100% attack up, 95% max brave up, HP damage up with his BT is up to 60%, and that's probably one of the highest. HP damage limit up is 50%, and that really tops a lot of the support unit in terms of HP damage limit up, because like Lena, Rosa, they probably have like 45%, and Ram, Iris has 50%. So he's definitely comparable with a lot of top aura support unit right now. So excel in support, excel in DPS, excel at disabling. What else do you want from him, right? So about his crystal passive, there's no specific crystal passive that I would recommend. He is pretty much have all that he needs to have, so there's no need to specifically alter him with crystal passive. So I would suggest you can use the typical generic crystal passive like A1, U1, yeah, U2. Okay, so his score I adjusted is 9/10, but I do understand that although he has so many roles for veterans who already have so many units, he doesn't bring that one extra, you know, something different that we never had before. Okay, so like for example, if Fujin, who is the character in the next event, she have that doubling the wall damage with which nobody ever has that, and that gives a newer dimension to how we want to boost or basically maximize damage, which makes her very interesting. Or we have like Kelger, who can solo. So yeah, Selh'teus doesn't have that specific niche, okay? But really, he is really good all around. So especially if you're a new player, you should really pull for his kit. Like, yeah, go get his entire kit, green him. He will be useful in so many situations, and he is, would say, the pivotal role for yellow crystals. So yellow crystal lacks AoE DPS, lacks a lot of things, but Selh'teus basically comes in and cover all of that. Alright, so for me personally, I will be just ticketing for his LD, and hopefully I get his FR and BT while I'm chasing for that. The reason is because I have him in JP and I have been using him a lot. So if I do want to do any form of Selh'teus showcase, I'll probably do it on the JP side. Yeah, that's because again, he doesn't have that specific niche or something different. So there is no need for me to like doing some crazy team comp or something. Like, why I go for Queen is because he has that 50% HP damage limit up. And with Ursula, I can push that limit higher, and with Anna Crow. So it was pretty fun for me to adjust and play with that. So Selh'teus doesn't bring that form of uniqueness to my roster, which is why I'm not pulling, okay? But again, that doesn't mean that he's a bad character, that he is like safe skip or anything. He's actually really good and would help you in that situation. I've been saying that so many times, okay? So that's enough. And yeah, so thank you for watching and good luck with your pulls.